In a day where we are celebrating a last gasp at keeping the series alive, yeah, we have the world's most laziest guy, Terry Fossum, joining me live in the lab. I'm telling you, the guy has accomplished nothing. So I'd invite you not to tune in because there's no show to watch. Today, live in the lab with myself, Terry L Fossum, survivor guy, lost in the jungle guy, the world's most interesting human. He's been a Boy Scout. He's everything. Coming up today in the lab.
Hi, I'm keithbilous, and this is Live in the Lab. All right. A little bit of weirdness in front of the camera there for anybody who's watching, because I'm like, hey, where's the button? Where's the button? I can't get it going. How did you go viral on TikTok? You were on America's Got Talent. How much did you get paid to be on AGT? Oh, you didn't get paid. Keith and Steve here in Live in the Lab.
You're a great interviewer. I love it.
48 miles, 48 hours, and not just once. You ain't seen nothing yet. I hit 50 last time, and I'm like, yeah, things are a little different than they were 10 years ago. So trust me, things are to keep. You have no time for the BS that much of society seems to put on the table. Why is that? Like, what you're talking about is real right now. There's just no bullshit here, but it's just real. We brought you in with some Marley. I said, Joseph, let's talk music for a second. We said, well, Keith, oldies, 60s, 70s, and 80s. I've never talked to a sir before. Why are you a sir? In many ways, we're the same story. I came from nothing. You came from nothing. I think the old saying goes that if you want a trophy, you climb Everest. If you want respect, you climb K2. I've built an AI myself, and it's pretty fascinating when you can have a conversation with yourself with your own knowledge. Have you done that before? Why are we rushing to make these tools if all they're going to do is hurt humanity? Does the world need an Oppenheimer moment with AI?
What a fun show.
Oh, you hear the music, nation? So do I. It's the last gasp. Yeah. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow. Just telling you. Mornings in the lab with myself and Nicole. You want to see a toothpick opener? Bring your coffee. It's gonna be a fucking train wreck. Unless, oh fuck yeah, unless, this music. Unless these Winnipeg Jets bring it on tonight and beat those Colorado Avalanche and extend the series one more game. I don't care if none of you like this shit. I really don't. I actually do not care at all. I do. My hockey team, my show. So if you like it, stick around. If you don't, go somewhere else. But I'll tell you something. Terry L Fossum is joining us today. Yep. Interesting fellow. I've purposely spent no time reading his bio. Zero. Nope. All I saw was a couple-minute video he sent me yesterday. Like, who sends videos to people randomly? Hey, Terry, who sends videos to people randomly? They just kind of knock on their door saying, oh, hey, I'm Keithbilous. I'm Terry L Fossum. Like, who's this guy? If you've been a guest here in the lab, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm in a good mood right now because I'm going to the hockey game tonight. And if all things goes well, we'll be in a good mood tomorrow. If all things don't go well, I'll be tired. I'm going to be a bitch. I'm going to be miserable. You just might not want to tune into Mornings in the Lab with myself and Nicole. What time to start at? 8 o'clock Eastern time, Terry. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Yep, I'm telling you again. 8 o'clock Eastern time. On LinkedIn, on X, YouTube, all those platforms around the world. The ubiquity of Mr. Bilous is just showing up everywhere. So my monologue today, nation, it's just staying where I'm going to keep it. I love the tunes and I love the attitude. And I'm going to keep the energy focused on my hockey team. Heck, I've spent enough money, they should be my hockey team. Oh, we all know how I feel about that. All joking aside, let's maybe bring the music down or bring it up. Because I did have a little sniff with Terry L Fossum. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that he was a author on Wall Street? A best-selling author on USA Today? We all know how I feel about best-selling. I've never met an author who says he's the worst-selling author. So we're going to challenge Terry if he's a best-selling author. Yeah, that's in my experience. We're all best. Could you imagine if the world was full of worst-selling authors? Fuck, man, there'd be no podcast hosts, there'd be no talk shows, there'd be the GDP of the world would be down significantly with no best-selling authors. Yep, because we have nothing to talk about. It's true. So apparently this guy's a best-selling author. Apparently. He's a winner. We know how we feel about winners here in the lab. Winners belong here in the lab. He's the winner of the Kicking and Screaming Survivor reality show. We just had the Survivor on Mornings in the Lab a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I'm good at segueing shit all through my shows. But today, we got a Kicking and Screaming Survivor. I hope he kicks and screams himself into the lab. If not, I got the controls. I can kick and scream him out. He's a keynote speaker. I'd like to be one of those. Hey, Terry, can you help me become a keynote speaker somewhere? I think I could be a keynote speaker. I think people might be entertained with having they'd think how they go. I know what would happen when I walked on stage. They'd go, oh my goodness, this guy is so tall. Yeah, he's a host. Terry's a host, and he's an award-winning actor, producer, and he's a global. This is what I love about Terry. He's a global adventurer. Terry L Fossum is joining me in the lab with the tunes rolling. Energy coming out of here. What's going on, Terry?
Well, what's up, Keith? Let's have some fun, buddy. Let's talk about some stuff. Bring it on. You want to talk author stuff? Bring it on. You want to talk adventure stuff? Bring it on. Let's do this thing.
Oh man. I'm a little jacked up today. I had a good morning. I had a good legs day today for Mr. Bilous. So I had a good lift this morning over on the other side of this wall over here. I had a good interaction with my co-host this morning. I don't see Marty Fitz getting his lift in right now. And then I got the old alert in my inbox at 11 o'clock Central Time, noon in your world. Are you in Eastern Time Zone? And it said, hey, Terry's showing
Pacific,
up. Yeah. So it said, hey, Terry's showing up in an hour. And then, about a half an hour ago, I got a frantic email from Terry saying, is this supposed to be in person? And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I thought you were the global adventurer. Of course, I'm looking at the chair over here. I'm thinking, Fossum's actually not in my lab right now. He's sitting somewhere in the Pacific. Who knows where he's sitting right now? All joking aside, Terry L Fossum, I'm humbled and I'm flattered and I'm really grateful that you're here to spend some time with me today. I joked. I did a little bit of research on you, and I said to my wife as I came downstairs into the lab, I said, oh man, I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a fun conversation.
Hey, hold judgment, man. I make no promises whatsoever. This could suck. This could totally suck. But let's not do that all joking aside stuff. Come on. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. So where are you joining us from today?
I'm in the budding metropolis of Spokane, Washington. It's on the eastern side of the state. Beautiful. Love the mountains. Love the people. Great place to be.
Is that home for you, Terry, or is it just kind of a spot in your journey?
Well, everything and every day's a spot on our journey, isn't it? How's that for a little philosophical throw in there? But was not born and raised here. The United States Air Force sent me up here against my will, but they didn't ask my opinion. And then I got up here and fell in love with the place, fell in love with the people, and then they couldn't move me out of here. Like, you know what? No, I think I'll stay.
Oh yeah, so you've settled in the state of Washington. So you went there as a young lad and you've journeyed the world. But is it fair for me to say that Washington's always been home for you?
You know, it is now. I've been here since '88, so okay. I've lived up here longer than I lived in Texas, the country that I actually came from. And this is home now, man.
When you reflect, do you look at your life in a series of compartments, chapters? Do you look at it, in a homogenous way, or how do you reflect upon life, Terry? Because you look at all the accomplishments, and we'll go through them through the show. But let's start at the beginning. But in many ways, we're at I don't want to say the end, but we're in your journey. Do you look back through them? Are they all compartments in time?
Yeah, they really are. They really are. Absolutely. It's I look at my Air Force life, my business life, the adventures, the survival reality show life, all those different things are life, the acting life. And I can't wait to see what the next one is. Life is so cool if you let it be.
Have you found yourself purposefully leading one chapter to the next? So does Terry look at, his life on a grand scale and go, okay, so this is happening now. This is going to be the next chapter in my story and in my journey. And is this the next one? Or is there a lot of serendipity that happens along the way for you?
So I'm gonna say something. It's gonna be my opinion. So don't all the haters out there, don't reach out to Keith and go, you son of a gun. I can't believe that you had him say that on there. Okay, this is my opinion. I'm the guy with this side of the microphone. You asked my opinion. Here we go.
Yes.
I go wherever God's placing me, man. And it's been let me give you an example. So when I was top fraction of 1% of my industry in the world in business, in direct sales, and things were going amazing. And I was single. And I met this beautiful young lady and her 3 preteen and teenage boys. So I retired, called up my business partner and said, guess what, man? I'm out of here. Like, we're making a lot of money. Yeah. This family's the most important thing in my world, right? They need a positive male role model very, very badly. I've got one chance to turn these little boys into honorable men. I'm not going to screw it up. So I was Mr. Mom, right? So for the next few years, I'd walk them to the bus stop and I'm home when they get home. I became their scoutmaster. That's how that happened. So the younger 2 twins are turning 18. They got their Eagle Scouts and they're moving on to other things. So I'm praying to God, okay, God, what do you want me to do next? Whatever it is, I'll do it. You lead, I'll follow. Be careful what you ask for, because I come down here to my computer, I check my email one morning, and I get this email to be on a survival reality. Keith, if you get an email out of the blue to be on a survival reality, what do you think? What do you think it is?
Well, you think it's a joke. I was invited. I was invited onto a show here up in Canada. Hold on, maybe I can. I think I might have.
I almost became a dragon. I remember the day where I got the call to be on Dragon's Den, but not as a contestant, as a dragon. Truthfully, I thought it was a joke, so you know what I did? I told them to and I hung up. But you know what? They called me back. They said it was real, so I listened. They said, we want you to come out to Vancouver to audition. What was the catch? I needed to bring 500K in my own money. So 1 week later, I was on a plane to Vancouver. I remember the 9 a.m. roll call. We did hair and makeup. Then I met the other dragons, and then we sat in those iconic dragon chairs. We were pitched by hopefuls, just like the real show. Man, 2 hours flew by. I didn't get the spot. Vikram Vijay did. Man, it was a 48-hour rush. From there, back, and I'd do it all over again. It was a near miss being a dragon. What was the moral? Just show up and enjoy the ride. Because you...
So I share that because I'm suspecting you can relate. So didn't want to interrupt, but when you say, I get a call from a Survivor reality show, you're thinking, this is a joke, right? Because I'm thinking the response was...
It's spam. It's fake, man. And I told my wife, I do not want to be on a, once I found out it was real, I want to be on a show.
How old were you then, Terry?
So this was 8 years ago. I'm just about to turn 60. So I was what, 52?
Okay, so my age. Okay, yeah. So you get this email, and they're saying, "Come on this reality show," and you looked at your wife and you said, "What?"
Well, there's no way. And I found out I was going to be the oldest person on the entire show. I was going to be representing all the Boy Scouts of America in my Scoutmaster uniform and going up against all these special forces guys and things like that. So, you know what? I don't want to, but here's the problem: when you think, "Okay, God, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it." You lead up. You can't say no.
Except this. God, I'll do everything except this one.
Except for this. And I told him on the show, I know I'm not here to win. I got no delusions of grandeur, right? I'm supposed to be here. At the end, there's two teams. We're one team, they're the other. And the producers on the side conversations going, how terrible would it be if you lost? You came this far and you lost. It's like, be fantastic. Wait, what? Look, if I'm here to help them win, outstanding. I've got a purpose. I don't know what it is. I'm not that smart. I'm not that guy,
Oh, man. So, Terry, I don't want to go too far yet. I want to pause on something that's clearly important to you, and it's a foundation for you, which is your faith.
Yeah.
Where did faith weave its way into your life? Was it through mom and dad? Was it through your own discovery? Was it through where?
Yeah, that's yet another great question, man. You're really good at this. So I grew up Lutheran. All the rest of my family's from South Dakota. So of course we're Lutheran, don't you know?
Yeah, I'm not far. So I'm up here in Manitoba. So I'm Manitoba, North Dakota, South Dakota.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was just in Wisconsin speaking recently.
There you go.
But I grew up in Texas, but still Lutheran down there and everything. And I kept hearing, here's what God says. Here's what the Bible says. And all this, like, okay, cool. And I was just still in high school at the time. Finally, like, you know what? I want to see what the Bible says. So for me personally, again, I don't care what anybody else's journey is. I don't judge anybody. It's not my job. I'm not that cool. I decided to start reading the Bible. So I read it over several times from start to finish, every begat, because I wanted to see what it said. Then I took it to the next step, though. Okay, let's read about other religions. Let's read about Buddhism. Let's read, what about Muhammad, et cetera, et cetera. So I started reading about others because I wanted to make up my own mind. And one thing I learned is we're all basically kind of look at the same thing, and judge not lest ye be judged. So everybody else is listening going, well, I believe, cool. Or if you're a Christian, cool. Whatever, man. Believe in something. Believe in the universe. I don't care. But you got to believe in something higher than yourself is my opinion. And that's what's led me through my entire life.
I can appreciate that point of view. My children go to a Catholic school, and I reveal that because to me, religion is in many ways no different than mathematics or language arts or any other subject that you learn. And I love that you shared with me that not only did I, learn the Bible, through my Lutheran studies, but then you started exploring the other religions on the planet, which tells me that to you, there's a higher purpose other than just a singular. You're like, no, it's not just one. There's more going on here. And I do have a belief in something, which you then just said a few moments ago, but I can appreciate that because it seems like you have that same point of view, which is it's not absolute this. There's much more going on there because to somebody who's traveled the world like you have and met the different humans around the planet, how can you not be so open to what you've learned?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are amazing people everywhere and in every religion. Guess what? There's bad people everywhere and in every religion. Focus on the good ones. That's the ones we need to think about. We need to focus on. We need to promote and help out.
Faith has been the red thread through everything you do, Terry?
I would say that's, and it's kind of funny that this interview turned into that. None of my interviews have ever turned into that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I would say absolutely. My mission statement for my life. I'm not a big corporate mission statement guy. That's a different discussion over a different beer. And is to help as many people as I can before I die. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for myself. I'm here just trying to go, okay, God, what's the latest way you want me to do that? That's all. And anybody can judge that any way they want. And like you said at the start of this thing, I don't care, because I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we're trying to, I don't want to use the word teach. That's what I'm trying to encourage others, excuse me, to be empowered by when they hear the show, hear the messaging, see the show, is that be yourself. It's okay to be yourself. It's, and stand strongly as yourself. You just made a comment that I can't believe this show when it's talking about faith, and that's really cool. Well, so I'm a huge fan of the human. I love humanity and humans. Maybe to a fault, maybe some naivety involved. I believe that the power of words and conversation can solve anything, right? So maybe, so my hawk or a dove is diplomat, as a military fellow, hey, listen, when you got to drop bomb, you got to drop bomb. But, sometimes, let's focus on what's, the raw humanity of Terry. Like, what are the buttons that move Terry? And if it's faith, and if that's the purpose for him, and if that's the way that I can connect with him as somebody who's curious and who's learned, oh, I'm all about that kind of conversation, because that means that there's many layers to you, right? So that's exciting to me. That's just not this scripted, oh yeah, so you went on a Survivor show. What's this? Not
right.
I want to have some human curious conversation going here, right? So when you're stuck in the jungle and you're talking about your 10 essential tips, is the 11th one your faith, or is that moved into your 10? You see what I mean? Like, that's part of who you are. And that's what I love about when I'm meeting these incredible humans every single day on this show.
Right on, man. It's funny you say the 10 essentials on there. I've got a video out where the 11th essential, by the way, faith is just all through all of it. That's just me. The 11th essential, and again, as somebody who is a bit of a survivalist, done adventures around the globe. And for those that don't know who are listening, 10 essentials are the things you should take with you everywhere. If you go out on a little day hike, you have these things with you. They're things like a way to make fire, shelter, locate, those kind of things. Those are your 10 essentials.
Talk about let's pause here. Let's slow it down, if you don't mind. Because
not at all, man.
Because I watched the video. They're not going to. So listen, they're going to think, it's coming from Bilous. The guy eats half a pound peanut butter cups. That's his essentials. No, we want to hear from the survivalist. Besides, we want a good clip for YouTube, Terry. Come on, man. So let's pause. What are the 10 essentials that somebody should make sure they have on their human every time they leave or wherever they go in life?
You've got to take a look at what could happen. All too many people, and instead of giving lists, I want to give the concept so people can build their own list. You've got to understand, even on a day hike, people get lost. I did survival in the Amazon jungle, and I was told of one of the stories of there was a special forces guy that came in to try to do the same thing. Special forces guy. I'm a scoutmaster. Okay. Special forces guy, but he got out of his little camp area and got lost, which is easy to do in the jungle. Everything looks like everything. You get lost a few feet away, and he did. He didn't have his 10 essentials with him. And he especially didn't have the 12th one, and he crumbled. He was in fetal position, crying like a baby when they found him. So it's going to be, what could you possibly face? Things like, okay, shelter is critical. You can die within minutes if a storm hits and you don't have shelter. Shelter's really, really critical. Water is really critical. You can die within 48 to 72 hours, depending on conditions, if you don't have water. Food isn't as critical as you think it would be. That's about a 30-day time period, depending on conditions. Food does help the attitude, it helps your mental capabilities. So that's what makes it important. But it's going to be things like that. Flashlight, compass, or these days a GPS, but don't depend on your GPS because batteries die. Get some compass skills is my advice to you. Going to be things like that, and learn what you're doing. Is that helpful so far?
Absolutely. Yes. 100%.
So so you can go online, you can get the list of 10 essentials, but again, it's what could I face? What could the problems be? Now, the 11th essential in my book, and you saw the video, is, in my opinion, a deck of cards. Now, why is that? Because anytime you are playing solitaire anywhere in the world, you're playing solitaire, some son of a gun's going to come up behind you and go, look, you can put that blackjack on that red queen. And I say that one jokingly. The 12th one is indeed attitude.
Yes.
The three most important things in all of survival, in this order: are number one, attitude. Number two, attitude. Number three, attitude. The special forces dude freaked out. He didn't have the attitude. And that's what made him freak out. And that's what makes you freak out in life. Same thing. The number one essential is your attitude. I've gotten where I've gotten because, of course, my faith, that's ingrained in me, but because of my attitude, no matter what I'm going into, and an unhealthy lack of fear.
Terry, is attitude a cliche?
No. Oh, God, no. Thank you for asking that. God, no. I looked back recently, because when they're putting this list together of the different things I've done and been very blessed in a lot of ways, I was being introspective, going, okay, what's doing it? Why have I been so blessed in so many different arenas? And I wanted to take a look and analyze it's attitude. It's attitude. How did I, win those awards, et cetera, in acting, in the military career was much better than it should have been. Business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Attitude. Something you must work on. You have to work on. You have to invest in yourself. That determines absolutely everything. It's not cliche. It is the foundation for the rest of your flipping life.
Terry, you're married?
Yeah.
How many years?
Or not. We are just going on 14 years now, admittedly, second marriage.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot, as we all do, learned a lot along the way. And that's where the ox cart technique, the subject of one of my books, has come in, where this one, that's going fantastic. Truly amazing. Thank God.
Excuse me, I'm on number 2, and I will share that with you as well. Nation knows. But I asked the question because I weave back to what you've been talking about, which is attitude.
Yeah.
Because clearly, if you're bringing a good attitude to all stages of your life, that's what I get a sense from you, that if you've had success in the professional areas of your life, your attitude has also gotten you through perhaps your previous marriage, when that's, you had to find an attitude to work yourself through it, right? It was difficult, and then it was then positive, and then you found your new partner, but that's all attitude along the way, isn't it? And then, like, it really is, and to adopt that attitude is the key. So it's great to hear that you say that everything you've done, that attitude is the most important red thread through all of it. You take attitude and take your faith, you'd almost seem unstoppable.
Well, that's true. And if you are stoppable, it's still okay.
Yeah.
If I had won that reality show, okay. It's not the end of my, if I wasn't successful in business, if I wasn't, no, man, keep your faith, keep your attitude, keep the people who are close to you, because they're the ones that really matter. Your job doesn't. It'll go on without you. Your business. Somebody else will do a business.
Yeah.
My brother became an astronaut. That is fantastic. That's amazing. But somebody else would have. What's most important? Yeah, it's your family. It's those close to you. It's the real things in life. That's why I like going into the wilderness by myself. It reminds you what's real and what's not. Most of it's not.
I wonder if what I'm going to say next strikes a chord for you. So you had success at a young age, right? You achieved some, I'll say, financial success at a young age.
Yeah.
Which allows you to pull your wallet out, spend freely, have a lot of fun, enjoy life in a way that maybe others aren't able to do. And then quickly realizing that staying at a Ritz-Carlton in one city is no different than staying at a Ritz-Carlton in another city. And a nice breakfast is the same as a nice breakfast. And oh yeah, the stitching in that car is the same as the stitching in that car. And, oh geez, the new line of Versace boots is the same ones for next year. And next thing you know, you just find yourself playing spend the money and keep up with the money and spend the Jones. I'm going to suspect then you go through a life situation and then you recognize that, okay, well, I don't really want to play that game anymore. I want to go and explore the world, and I want to go sleep in tents. I want to go sleep in huts, because a hut is very different than a Ritz-Carlton in Chicago or a Ritz-Carlton in Los Angeles. I see you nodding. I'm telling your story, ain't I?
Oh, baby.
I'm telling you that because I can relate to you. I haven't achieved as much adventure as you have, but I can tell you from my professional success, I would just soon go stay at the Motel 6 down the road and hear the stories from the guy who owns it for 50 years and say, okay, so who stayed here? As long as there's no bed bugs, but I want to hear the stories. I want to take some photographs. I want to see the analog going on. I want to know who's been in and out of this hotel over 80 years, the further off the path that it is, so you strike me as the same thing. And what got me is when I was watching one of your videos about your experience in the Amazon, I said to myself, because I was supposed to go to the Amazon before the pandemic and I haven't made it there yet.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I'm looking at you with this revere, because I'm like, oh man, you've been there, and just hearing you describe it. And I can see that's where your juices flow, Terry.
Yeah, no doubt. First of all, and I think it's important for everybody to hear. And you, of course, are a fantastic example of this as well. Live below your means. Just because you got money, you should not spend it. The reason that I'm happy that I've got some financial success is that it gives you that peace of mind. I don't go out there and blow it. You know, we don't go do stupid things. And I changed into this nice shirt, by the way, right before your show. Let me tell you, the rest of my my wardrobe is earth tones. My wife laughs at me.
Yes.
But no, man, you're absolutely right. And that's why when you're out there in the wilderness in a tent and the weather's crappy as can be, and it's raining, it's blowing or snowing or whatever it's doing, and you can get a fire started, then that's important. And suddenly all the politics, all the crap you've been going through, the problems at the office, wherever, you know, all those things going on, they don't matter. And that's why I think it's important for people to get away from all that. However you do it, you know, it doesn't have to be the wilderness. We're kind of weird. That's all right. But to get away from that, to remind yourself that stuff doesn't matter, man. The 5 minutes after you die, it's not going to matter. So guess what? It doesn't right now. But it's hard not to remind ourselves of that. Some days, really hard.
Terry, staying in the world of the early days of Terry L Fossum and sales, I believe it was a direct sales business, right? Was it like a multi-level marketing business?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things you got to build, baby.
100%.
100%.
I ask you because that is very much representative of an era, the 80s, late 70s, 80s. How do you see the direct sales MLM business in 2024 when you look back at that industry from, 40 years ago, almost 50 years ago? Because I've been around seeing it as well. Amway and Jewelway and those platforms that really set the stage for direct sales and multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your point of view on this today, Terry.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the point of view has changed because mine was a little different back then than the rest of the, I can't say the rest of it, than most of the industry. Ethics is number one to me. It's absolutely number one above all else. So I had to have an ethical company first and foremost. And the methods that I used and the methods I taught were ethical. No BS. No, tell somebody I'm going to make you rich and you're going to make me rich, and bring them over for dinner and not tell them what you're doing and bring out a, whatever. No, bull crap. See, I still represent Boy Scouts of America. I still have to watch my language.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'll just do the swearing for your behalf. But anyways, go ahead.
All right. I think everybody understood what I'm saying there.
Yes.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's dishonest. It's not a way to live. And there's nothing worth it. No amount of money is worth selling your soul for that. So that's what I taught. I put out a book actually at that point as well, that I trained my organization with on ethical ways of doing this. Now, let me say this. I couldn't have lived the life that I live without it. There's no way I could have. I mean, sure, I retired, but they kept sending me money, which was kind of nice and still is. I've been inactive for decades now, and they still keep sending me money, which I appreciate, by the way.
You still have residual streams from that business?
Yeah, I really do. That's what gave me, by the grace of God. And that's what gave me the freedom to be able to do this, because I built it ethically, I built it right. And if you do it right and be honest with people, it really can be. And I was told, you need to get at the start of one of these things. I was not. I came in at probably the worst time. But I knew that didn't matter. It's what I do. It's not what somebody else did, what somebody else says. It's what I do. It's what I build. And that's what I did. So for those that are listening who are in that industry, just be honest, man. You can do it right. And that's why I love speaking to those organizations at their conferences and stuff. I teach them the Oxcart technique, which helps get them through all their self-doubts, their comfort zone and everything, but also to do it ethically. And man, what a difference that can make.
It's clearly a point for you when you look at the industry today and how you built it, because I'm suspecting when you look at it today, it troubles you how unethical parts of it is.
Yes, absolutely. There are still some companies out there that are selling BS. I don't mean Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And there are certainly people out there that are doing the same thing. But that being said, there are also very ethical companies out there that have great products, a great marketing plan, and people are doing it honestly. So just like everything in life, we can look at all the bad people, the bad situations, the bad things going on, and that's all we'll see. Just like if you buy a red car, a red Toyota, you're going to see all sorts of red Toyotas out there, right? Or you can look for the good in people, the good in the companies, the good in the way people do business, the good that's out there, because it is. Focus on that. Focus on that red Toyota, and you'll find it.
In a world in an analog world that's continuing to shift to digital, and as we embrace more digital personas and digital lifestyles and and immersive experiences, metaverse, and so forth, the idea of the personal brand continues to resonate. In a world of AI, chat GPT, words on paper, the resume seems to be less and less relevant, and social proof and what have you done for me and who you are as a human being is standing out to be more and more important. Now, you shared with me that you were, I believe you said you were 60, was it? Or just around 60 years old, right?
Yeah, just about to turn 60. My birthday's coming up, and I like scotch. I'm allowed to say that.
You are the ultimate in personal branding, because as I hear you speak from a place of faith. Okay, I get some trust in the guy. And then you speak from a place of attitude. Okay, the trust goes up a little harder. Okay, then you speak from a place of I was a Boy Scout for 8,000 years. Oh, okay. Well, the trust is going to go up even farther than that. And then you speak of your experiences. You see what I'm getting at here is that your personal brand is, it's wonderful when you step outside of it and speak to you, because I can tell you're a trustworthy human being with a lot of integrity, not based on the words you use, but just based on what you've accomplished. Like, you don't get into the military and have experience and have the kind of success you had. You don't go through business and have the kind of success you've had. You don't achieve and learn, through marriage, your personal things. You don't do that without getting up and going again. So I say that everything you speak of, it's clear that there's actions behind it.
Well, I wish I could say that was all on purpose. I don't know anything about branding. All I can be is myself. And quite frankly, that's all I care about. And if that is something that resonates with people, that I can help people with, and I can teach people from that foundation, outstanding. If they're looking for somebody different, fantastic. There's a lot of people out there. But yeah, if I'm able to make a difference, again, that's my goal.
But you're a good example for people that wonder what a personal brand is, and that's why I'm staying on this for a moment, because I'm a digital marketer. I'm a marketer. I speak to people a lot about this topic, and they're like, "So what's a personal brand? Is it my logo? Is it just me doing something?" No, it's Terry L Fossum. Like just stand back and study the man for a moment, right? So and I'm not here to continue to blow smoke up your rear, and even though I am, but just all the accomplishments, these chapters of your book, right? You as the human being. But then just the way you talk about it, you got your faith, you have the attitude, you have the experiences. Like, there's a brand happening here, right? You talk about I'll say it, an industry that one can be perceived as a multi-level marketing greasy business, and all you talked about was ethics. I'm like, okay, so either this guy's blowing a great amount of green smoke to distract all of us, or there's something happening here. But if you just said it once, then I'd say, okay, there's some green smoke. But you keep repeating these pillars of authenticity. So somebody hearing about what a personal brand is, it's Terry L Fossum, because there's these pillars that are built around you. Like, everything you do leads like that red thread through you. Does that make sense?
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense. I very much appreciate that. I'm a little speechless, to tell you the truth.
Well, because now if I'm to buy your book, the ox cart technique, I'm going into the book with an expectation of integrity, of trust, of there's some stuff here that's probably valuable to me. Like, I already have a comfort level as a buyer of your product because of what you've done and how you've put yourself out there. People don't get that part, which is why I'm hammering on it right now. Right? It's okay to be yourself. Not everybody has to love you.
Yeah. And that's great. I learned something in acting, because, I'm trying to figure out who I am as an actor. Because they've just 3 years ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can act. Out of the blue, I contacted the local coach/agent, and I told her, okay, analyze me harshly. Okay. Again, I have no beliefs that I'm amazing. I'm not that guy. I want you to tell me not to quit my day job as soon as I figure out what that is. But be harsh. And
you're going to the mailbox and collecting checks.
What's that?
Isn't your day job going to the mailbox and collecting checks?
Well, direct deposits,
Oh, yeah. So it's just opening up the iPhone and looking at the bank account then.
Yeah, it kind of is. But one of the many things I learned from that experience, which was fantastic. By the way, it worked out. She signed me kind of right away.
Yeah.
But then I'm learning something new, right? Again, you humble yourself completely, learn from everybody. Everything I did in my past means nothing there. Means nothing. I'm the new guy. That's all I am. So I'm soaking in everything I can. And I'm nervous. Let's be honest. I'm nervous. It's a new thing, completely out of my box.
Yes.
But I learned, just be yourself. I'm trying to figure out, who am I? Who am I going to act like? What am I? No. Be you. And I think in all of life, that's a pretty good thing to be, because it's what we're best at. Just do it.
This is interesting because you've been on TV, been a reality TV star, You're now trying to be an actor. I'm sorry, you're on your path. You are an actor. I didn't mean that in a disrespect.
I took horrible offense. This interview's over. That's it.
I lost my train of thought. People think they have to be something when in reality, you have to find a way to be yourself, because when you're self, you're that much more interesting, aren't you?
I could speak to other people. I certainly find that out. Like you said, find the guy that's run that hotel for 40 years. Those are the fascinating people, because they're not trying to be anything else. Those are the ones you really learn from.
The show has turned into. Like, I had somebody on my show yesterday, Terry, who, in 1980, we'd call her a psychic, but now she's an intuitive. She's a soul coach. I'll brand her today. She's a soul coach. She's somebody who speaks to you, so you might find a finance coach, talk about finance. You might talk to a physical coach, talk about your physics or your fitness. This human being speaks to you from a different place, a different lens, your soul, right? You're something really different and interesting to me, man. Right? Because there's people all over the place that are super interesting, but she's, a lot of people would look at her like,
right. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Don't try to be everything for everybody. You can't. Don't try. It'll drive you insane. Yeah.
I love that, because when I look at the chapters of your journey, and I know we're all kind of all over the place here, Terry, but I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Well, welcome to my life, man.
Yeah. Do you live in a museum, or do you have a museum of all the different chapters, or let's pick one of them. Let's pick the military. So let's tell the audience about your experience in the military. Actually, you know what we should do? Oh, fuck, I should have done that. Sorry for swearing, but I should have.
Go for it.
I should have took a spin the wheel, and I should have put all of Terry's life spots, and we could have spun it, and then we could have stopped on one of them and we go, okay, we're now talking about the military. So, hold on, nation. I got to put this on the screen right now. So from the front line of survival TV to the cockpit of a B-52, Terry, come on. Tell me about the B-52. Tell me about the military experience.
Well, it's even weirder than that, actually. So, and to answer your question, yeah. If I were to turn my camera all around, first of all, you see a whole lot of crap right off camera, right? Because that's the way it is. But yeah, I've got stuff from different parts of the world and all that's kind of fun.
Awesome.
The Air Force. Now, I got my degree in mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Became an officer in the Air Force. So I put in for a mechanical engineering job in my home country, Texas. And the Air Force.
You don't have an opinion on that at all, but go on.
It's a joke. Oh my God. No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
And it might be, and I'm suspecting it might be in McCallum, the most open town in the entire world.
We could certainly go to that topic in a second here.
There's just a flow of traffic through.
We'll go back to that. But so the Air Force sent me to a non-engineering job. So all that work for my ME degree, non-engineering job in some place called Spokane, Washington.
Okay, yes.
My exact quote to the colonel that gave me the assignment was, "That sucks, sir." I said, sir. But then it turned out, as all blessings are, so I ended up spearheading a brand new career field in the entire Air Force, operations management. I was one of the very first in the entire Air Force. They sent me up to Spokane, Washington, Fairchild Air Force Base to be what was called the adjutant for the 325th Bombardment Squadron, a nuclear B-52 squadron during the Cold War. The cool thing is they had no idea what to do with me. And they started asking, "What's your job here?" Oh, what your job is. Well, I was a non-aviator, okay? So,
right. Yes.
But dude, are you supposed to have flight gear? They've never had an officer that wasn't an aviator there before. Why, yes, I am. A form-fitted helmet and everything? Yes, I am. Right? So I got to call what my job was. Now, I worked my butt off. That's another thing I think is important. Work ethic is critical. Another reason that I've been very blessed in a lot of areas, I work hard, man. Air crews would land from doing missions at 2 a.m. I'm still in my office working, okay? I gained their respect. So the boss brought me up, so I'm working for a lieutenant colonel, squadron commander at that point, learned so much. The group commander, full bird colonel, is in charge of 1/4 of the Air Force Base, all of the operations, including the air refueling wing, the or squadrons, the maintenance, everything else. He brought me up to be the executive officer for the 92nd Operations Group. Never before has there been a non-aviator in that role, or since. Maybe that's because I screwed it up so bad. I haven't thought of that. But again, I work hard. I've got a great attitude. So that kind of happened, and ended up doing deployments all around the world. As I was starting up that direct sales business, I'm stalling because I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to talk about here? This is not classified. This is okay.
Yeah.
And I was making the decision to get out. The Pentagon, or excuse me, the assignments guys called me up. So I pick up my phone and okay, Captain Fossum, we talk about an assignment. Okay, cool, talk. Oh no, sir, it's above that level. Well, okay, call me back on the Stu 3. That's the red phone. We're in the flipping nuclear war wing. Okay.
Yeah.
Wing, meaning an organization. Call me back on the Stu 3. No, sir, it's above that level. Oh, what can you tell me about it? Well, sir, the only thing we can tell you is it's really cool. Oh, okay. But I was running a change of command at the time. I was planning on getting out, and I'm going way condensed version on a much longer story. I never went to be briefed on it, but they were offering me any job in the Air Force, any career field, up to a lieutenant colonel level. I was a junior captain at the time. Unflippin' heard of. And this isn't to brag about me, because again, I'm not that cool. You hang around me for 5 minutes, you'll understand. I'm not that cool.
Well, I've hung around you for 50-something minutes, so I can tell you're not cool at all. So
well, there you have it. See, there you go. It didn't take all that time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I got a great attitude, which I've worked really hard on. I've got a great work ethic. And again, I've got a belief that, okay, God's leading me wherever I'm going. So that's kind of the military thing. But what a trip, man. Most of it. Some of it was a very bad trip.
Who was president at the time?
At the time was Clinton for some of that time.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting time. So military career ends and you work your way. That chapter closes on Friday. You sit back on the weekend. You get the old attitude check. You're like, nah, all right, what's next? You look up and I gotta crack some jokes. You look up in the sky, you look around your Boy Scout uniform, and you're like, all right, God, what's next?
Yeah, well, next was the I'd already started that direct sales business, and that was starting to go. And my thought was, although I was felt very, very proud, being part of the military, and still do.
Of course.
In fact, I was recently an honorary commander out there at Fairchild, which was cool.
Good for you.
Yeah. A great chance to be able to give back there. But started the direct sales thing. So that was my adventure for a while, building that, because I believed if I had more free time and more money, I could help more people. And it kind of turned out that way.
And then once you achieve that and you recognize the joy of helping others, the joy of experiencing the world, and then it seems that at that point, World Adventure, World Want to Give Back, Terry L Fossum continues to come out and ends up, right?
Dad Terry L Fossum came out next. That's what I got.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. So that was a pause on life to raise those kids, man. Turn them into honorable men, which I'm very, very proud of them today. They are honorable men.
How old are the kids?
29.
You have grandchildren?
No grandchildren yet. One of them's married. And just buying a house. We're hopeful. I'm
wondering if they how do they look at dad? And how do they look at dad now humorously compared to how they looked at dad through dad's journey? So 29, I'm thinking that when they were in their 16, 17, 18s, were they rolling their eyes at dad, or they're like, oh yeah, dad's awesome, or they're like, oh God, there's dad.
Oh, you're giving me way too much credit. They still roll their eyes at me. Come on now. No, what was really cool is I was the scoutmaster for the two younger ones.
Oh,
and
yes.
That made all the difference, because the most humbling thing in the world, and I've been humbled a lot in my life. We're talking about the successes. There's a lot of failures. Okay.
Of course, feedbacks.
The most humbling thing in the world is to be a stepdad. And every step parent out there just went, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a tough deal. But being their scoutmaster, and especially, well, we won't even get into that. But being their scoutmaster, I was pretty well liked as a scoutmaster. And that gave me time with those kids out on these campouts and doing those things. And with all the other kids that I was very, very blessed to work with. So that made a huge difference for us to be out there in that world, in that environment. Big difference.
I'm a proud, the term we use around here, Terry, is bonus dad. I'm a proud bonus dad. It's spectacular. It's funny because my little Brookie right now, she's on vacation with her dad. And yesterday, Lauren, my wife, sends me a little note and says, "Oh," and Brookie sent her a text message and says, "I see Keith's live streaming right now," because the alert comes up and the notification. Right, she's 8, so it's awesome. So she's down.
Wow.
And Brookie, if you're watching right now, but it's to those that are bonus dads or bonus moms, it's a different, it's a completely different relationship with the other half. And man, if you're fortunate to have that wonderful connection,
Absolutely.
Magical, right?
And having
'Cause it's
because
choice.
I was scout.
Choice,
Go
right?
ahead. What's that?
I'm sorry. It's because it's magical because it's choice. It's not because, oh, well, I guess you're my dad, I'm supposed to love you, or I guess I'm your mom, I'm supposed to love you. You know, it's you choosing to love the bonus children and the bonus children choosing to love bonus dad. When that starts to happen, magic happens.
There's nothing better because so I'd be tucking these little boys in at
Yeah.
night, right? Because I was Mr. Dad. That's what I was.
Yeah.
I did nothing. I wrote some books while they were at school, but I wouldn't promote them because I'm dad. But to tuck those little boys in at night and hear, go, I love you, son, and hear, I love you too. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
done.
awesome.
Nothing else matters. Nothing else. All that success, blah, 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 blah. Nah, none of that matters, man, compared to that.
So you go through. So the dad experience happens. You're proud. You're a proud dad. You got the nice residual checks coming in because you've put all the hard work in. Don't want to lose sight of that. That it just doesn't all of a sudden rain money. You have to put a lot of work into it.
No, it's hard.
Absolutely, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. Adventure life begins to kick in for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're really talking my passion, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. And just before we get any further, I know we're scheduled to go for 9 more minutes. I don't have a hard stop in 9 minutes. If you don't, I can go a little bit longer. Yeah, good. All right.
Bring it on.
Let's do it. So adventure life happens and the blood starts flowing. The energy starts coming out of Terry and it becomes addictive, doesn't it?
So I'm sitting at my desk one day, right here at my desk,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, it's time for a drive about. And I pull out my different maps. What do I want to do? And I look up there, and there's a place called in
Yeah.
And I said, well, it looks like there's kind of a road there, and there's another town way up there that we're talking the Arctic Circle for those that don't know.
Yeah. Up and in.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
yeah. And it's like, that looks like fun. So I call up my wife, my dear wife. I love my wife. And I say, you know what? I think I'm going to go on a solo adventure deep into the Arctic Circle, not just to the edge where they take pictures at the sign. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Yeah. Not that. No. I want to go up there and just like you were talking about with where we stay and who we meet and stuff. I don't like to do the tourist thing. So I think, I think I'm going to go do a solo adventure up there. And they're like, and she's like, wait, what? Yeah. When? Thursday. So I get some really good tires on my Chevy Blazer at the time I had, do some transmission work and just take off. And so,
Start driving north.
Start driving north. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hightailing up there, drop by Dawson City, of course. Got to do that. That was cool. Up the Dempster, get into Inuvik, and I meet this Inuit guide by the name of Kailek. I could never pronounce it exactly right. He kind of becomes my buddy. Again, it's meeting the cool people, the real people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right? So this guy's amazing, and we hit it off, and I talked him into taking me up through the Mackenzie Delta and dropping me off. And I can tell you there's nothing, in my opinion, I know I'm weird, more fun than sitting there knowing there's one person in the world that knows where you're at as you're listening to nothing but the sound of that boat motor fading away in the distance and the dulcet tone of billions of mosquitoes and black flies. But so I spent some time, had some fun there. They picked me up. And now Kailek, before I'm just, who's this white guy, right? Coming out of the States,
Yes.
Going, why don't you drop me off? But now he respects me because I've played around a bit.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah. So he goes, so tell you what, we need to go out on a caribou hunt to fill our freezers for the winter. You want to go with us? I'm like,
yeah.
Let me think about this one for no time. A caribou hunt with the Inuits in the Arctic. I'm going yes on this one. I'm going yes. Now, I'm not allowed to hunt. The Inuits are. I am not. Right. So I want to make that plain because I know I'm talking to a podcast that's based out of Canada. I get it. All right.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
But to go with them and experience that, for the ones that are using it to fill their freezers for meat, fantastic. So Keith, here I am. I'm sitting here at my desk one day going, I think I'll go, and I'm on a caribou hunt with the Inuits in the Arctic. Come on now. Be open to the adventures of life, and just roll with it. Get out there, get out from behind your desk and your TV set and your computer after this podcast is done.
Yes.
And, go out there and enjoy the adventure that is life. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. So you come back from that experience and you're itching to do more because it becomes addictive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So we went up in the mountains of Rwanda looking for the silverback gorillas and found them.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Were
Well,
you disappointed in that experience? Because I have not made my way over there. I've done my research to enable myself to get there. But again, the pandemic changed some things for me. I'm a little reluctant because what I understand the experience to be and what I really want the experience to be are two different things. Was it what you had wanted it to be, or was it limited by what the reality was?
I'm going to say both and none of the above. And
Okay.
here's why.
Yeah.
We can get these magical views of anything, of what we want them to look like, what we fantasize them to be like. And many times they're not the same thing. Don't make any marital judgments here, Keith. Don't go there. But on the other hand, they are what they are. Was I by myself trekking in the mountains of Rwanda? No, there was a guy that had a gun with him to keep us safe. That I'm sure did not fire. I know a little bit about weapons. I'm sorry, Canadians, I do. But, I'm pretty sure this did not. And, but yet I'm hiking into the mountains of Rwanda, and yeah, we found the silverbacks. And at one point, this baby silverback comes right up to me, and I still haven't cleaned out those pants as well as they need to be, because with the baby comes mama or daddy. And of course, I make all sorts of jokes here, but it's amazing. I mean, we're going through there, and we're going through all the stinging nettles, and I'm wearing blue jeans. I thought that'd be enough. It was not. My legs are on fire. God, it hurt so bad until the second I saw my first silverback. And then it didn't hurt so bad. It didn't hurt at all anymore. And that's the same thing. I think we could draw a parallel between anything we do. There's going to be a lot of pain along the way, whether it's you're building a business, building a family, whatever you're doing. There's going to be pain along the way. That's the way it is. But the second you hear, "I love you, son," or I love you too," or, you get to that point in your business or whatever it is that's important to you. You're on your movie set, which is still weird to me, or whatever it is, the pain's worth it. It doesn't feel like it when you're going through it till you get there.
Yeah. What was stinging you when you were trying to find the silver?
So stinging nettles. It's a plant that when you rub up against it, it hurts like crap. But the gorillas love it. They love to eat them. So they're going to be around them. Okay, cool. You're like went into the shark cage in the Pacific. I don't like cold water. I'm from Texas. I hate cold water. And I shouldn't say it's that cold, but I'm a cold water wimp. So it was until the second I saw my first shark. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you mean like this?
Kind of like that. That's pretty good, man. You're pretty good. This guy is. Yeah. There you go. Hi, baby.
Yeah. So I spent time in the Neptune Islands in the South Australian Ocean. I spent time for 4 days, 3 nights with. I'll tell you a little story.
I really love this guy. Keep talking.
So the primary photographer, the classic Roy Scheider film, Jaws.
Yeah.
Rodney Fox is attacked and almost eaten by a shark on that first filming of the show. As a result, makes it his mission to create a shark cage and help make that industry safer. So I found him. He's in Australia. He's got Rodney Fox Expeditions, and he takes humans like myself and yourself on his boat. You sleep on it, and you go spend time on the Neptune Islands. And so basically, once you're there, the next thing you're going to see is the Antarctic, because it's in the middle of nowhere. And you're sleeping on this boat for 3 days, 4 nights. I went out there, and I had the most experience out of all the other people on the boat. I couldn't be. People go, they're like, "Okay, I don't want to go now." I'm like, "What?" So I had 13 different experience. No, I had 52 different experiences with 13 different sharks. The biggest one was a 15-foot white, and it was magnificent.
That's the deal, man. That's the deal. Yeah, I love that. I need to go watch a podcast where you're being interviewed on. We're talking all about me. I know that's the deal with the show, man. But I want more.
Yeah, that was a magnificent experience.
Love that.
So you go on this show. I'm gonna go back to. I want to stay on adventure. You get onto the show, and did you have to apply to be on the show? Or I'm sure some kind of application process, or somebody saw you and maybe found you? No. Yeah.
So they reached out to me.
You're cast. Yeah.
Again, I said I never want to be on one of these shows because I've seen what they make them eat. I'm not interested. I don't need to. I'm not seeking
how they cast you, right? Because they create a bunch of content on you, and then at the end of the show, you're cast into a bucket. You're the villain, you're the superstar, you're something, right?
So when we're just about to film, we get there, and I went up to Matt Kunitz. Now Matt Kunitz he did Fear Factor, he did Wipeout. Okay. He's currently doing Deal or No Deal Island.
Yes.
Great show. By the way, sweetheart of a guy. Love this guy. He's a good person.
Yes.
But I went up to him. I didn't know that at the time, right? I'm representing all the Boy Scouts of America in my Scoutmaster uniform. I don't care about me. I do care about that.
Of
And
course.
I went up to him and I said, okay, before we get going, special effects,
That's
before
pretty-
we get going, I need to, we need to have a talk because I know you can make me look like I've done or said anything that you want to. Now, if I screw up, I own it, show it. You know, I don't care what you make me as a person look like. I don't care about me, but I want your word that you will not cut and paste to make Boy Scouts of America look bad. Now, again, if I screw up, show it. It's the truth. It's the honest truth. I own it. Even if it makes Boy Scouts look bad, I did it. So I get it. I need your word. You're not going to cut and paste out of context to make Scouts look bad. And he looks at me, goes, I give you my word. Roll camera. Let's do it. And he is, as he is, true to his word. Now, they cast me as the Scoutmaster. Now, they didn't talk about, prior military as well, not special forces, but military. And I've done a few adventures around the world. I'm a black belt and all this other stuff. That's, so you are cast in a role. But everything, I can't speak for other shows. I can just tell you in our show, there was no fake anything. They didn't feed us, all these, you're not eating a hamburger when you're not on camera or anything like that. So no, it was an amazing experience where I got to meet some absolutely amazing people that I'm still friends with, several of them to this day.
That's incredible. Terry, why don't you do alone? Or maybe you have, or maybe you're considering it. Have you considered it? Are you looking at it? It's something that I would love to see you a part of.
Alone would be a cool show. I get asked all the time if I'm going to be on another show. Now, one of the reasons that I was, did so well, first of all, my partner, let me give a shout out to my partner, Natalie. She was amazing. Yes. But also I was below the radar. You're all these special forces guys, military survival instructors, a 4th degree ninja black belt, mercenary, helped take out Saddam Hussein. I'm just the Scoutmaster. Don't worry about me. Under the radar, maybe, right? Any other show, any other competition show, and I got a target on my back. Alone would be kind of cool. I love that show. Love it. Yes. But I've been there. I've done that, right? I've done one of those shows now. And again, you've seen I like different chapters. I get bored easy. I can't hold down a hobby.
Yes.
So it's what's next. And right now I'm really rolling on the speaking and the coaching and that kind of stuff. That's what I'm playing with right now and having a lot of fun with.
So let's pivot there. Let's pivot to as we work towards wrapping up this incredible conversation, Terry. Let's talk about the ox cart technique. Let's talk about coaching. Let's talk about the next chapter, right? We've gone through the different chapters of Terry. And now if I'm spinning the proverbial board, I've hit the chapter of April 2024, we're talking ox cart technique. We're talking acting. We're talking coaching people. We're talking, it sounds to me like, I'm going to crack a joke with you, friend. It sounds to me like the more mature, subdued Terry L Fossum, which is okay. I'm now going to share some of my experiences with this lack of gray hair that I have on my body. And I'm going to tell you all this life experience I have. So let's talk about today's chapter and let's talk about the Oxford technique as we work towards bringing ourselves home on our journey today, Terry.
Yeah, you got it. Absolutely. The ox cart technique, I found out by failing. Because I've spent a lot of money. I've spent a lot of time developing my attitude, learning about goal setting and all of these things, only to find out most of what we've been taught is either incomplete or completely wrong. That's why 92% of the people that set goals fail. There's a reason why. Most of what we're being taught is wrong. So again, being a geek, kind of a scientist type, engineer type, I needed to analyze it. And I actually came across it more by accident than analyzing. But when I analyzed, I realized, dang, I'm onto something. That's what made me succeed in network marketing, in MLM, was the ox cart technique. It was different than what we've been taught. And it propelled me to the top. It helped a lot of other people. Before I knew it, I had rooms full of people coming to learn from me what this technique was so they could apply it to their business. We applied it to marriage because marriage is a goal. I got emails. We just saved you just saved my marriage. And international weight loss coach in my audience that freaked out and started applying it to all of her clients. So, we don't have time to go into the technique, but in all honesty, get the book. And if you want to take it to the next level, I do some private coaching on it as well. And you can just Google my name or whatever, you'll find it, terryl.fossum.com. So I do speaking, organizational speaking. That's mainly going to be towards goal-driven groups, right? So salespeople, whatever it might be. I just got done having a blast speaking at a major manufacturing conference. I was their opening keynote, and it's on my next book, which is Throw Away the Box. We can no longer think outside the box. We've got to throw away the box with AI and everything else going on today. Either your organization, your company changes or you die. Ask Sears, ask
Blockbuster.
Yeah. Ask all these companies that have died because they didn't throw away way.
Podcasting industry. Oh, all my podcasting friends love when Uncle Keith throws them under the bus. You guys, you mofos, you guys got your podcast. You got to go streaming. You got to get behind the camera. You got streaming, and you got to move forward because the podcast is dying, man.
That's it. That's it. I love that. I love that. And so the next book I'm working on is Throw Away the Box, the 10 critical do or die steps to changing and perhaps saving your organization. So they brought me in as the opening keynote to this major manufacturing conference. By the grace of God, standing ovation, called the best speaker they ever had. So I'm loving doing that for the audiences.
I wasn't there though. You said the best speaker they ever had. I
Well, that you haven't been there, so how can you compare apples to oranges? I got nothing. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. They need to have you in. That's all I need.
Oh, I kid with you, friend. How have you enjoyed the public speaking tour? And I know I think you've recently you started doing some public speaking. You strike me as somebody who the audience would love to hear from, but you strike me as somebody who wants to get on stage to share your story.
I want to help people.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's the way when you're in person that you can really touch their souls. And whether it's even business, and giving them the steps they need to succeed in business, in industry, whatever, I'm always going to put a personal thing in there. I don't want my audience going away going, well, that was nice. Anyway, when they leave my audience, God willing, they're going to have actionable items that they can put to use today. And it's going to make a emotional difference in their lives as well. That's my goal.
Before we say goodbye, personalized experience. You just use these words, personalized experience, you used emotional. I had a fellow in the lab here a month ago, Nelson Parodies. He's an acting coach. He runs an agency in Los Angeles. And I said, what do you look for when you're looking for what's the it factor? He's like, Keith, when somebody can move somebody's breath. Oh, yeah. He's like, because if you can move somebody's breath, you've had an emotional effect on that human being. So, and they might not even know it. They might have subtly taken a deeper breath. They might have gasped. You think about a horror or a comedy or a conversation, right? So I've really taken that to heart, where when I'm communicating with somebody in an intentional manner, I'm trying to move your breath. And I'm not to be an actor, but because I want to have an emotional connection with you. And I'm trying to connect with you through emotion and words and narrative, right? Yeah. So that's
well, and important to know, emotion, not fact, is the driver of all action. Emotion, not you can give them all the facts, the bar graphs, the pie chart, everything in the world. It doesn't matter until you create emotion within them. Yes. If you light a fire under them, they'll stomp it out the second you walk away. Light a fire inside of them. It'll burn forever.
Hey, Terry, last question. And I'm gonna be curious with this one. Am I correct to say that at the end of the day, Terry L Fossum is actually an introverted human being? That
you're good.
And if you put him in a room of 1,000 people, Terry's in the corner. But if you put Terry on a stage in front of 1,000 people, he's loving it. But it's actually not his comfort zone to walk around the room and kiss babies and shake hands.
You, sir, are very good.
I'm the same person because I saw you in the corner over there, and I meet people during this show, and as I communicate with them, I recognize that we're standing in the corner.
Yeah, 100%. Now I've learned to exhibit extrovert behavior, and even in a room like that, which is my most uncomfortable. I've been chased by a bear. I've been hanging from a cliff, about to die in Death Valley. I've done all of these things, but you put me in a room where it's forced socialization. We got a problem here. My one last thing I'd love to leave for the audience is going, wow, that's me too. That's me too. Ask questions. Be more interested than interesting. We've all heard that, but ask questions. So what do you do? That's the normal one. What do you do when you're not doing that? What do you do for fun? Build on that. Tell me more about that. How so? Be interested in them. People will love you if you ask them questions. If you're that guy that's, well, let me tell you me about you. Let me tell you about, they can't wait to get away. If you're asking them questions, wow, that was the most fascinating person I've ever talked to. You didn't say a thing. They did. There's your last little trick of the trade, if you will, to help those people like us out there.
That's I paused because I wanted to hang on let the pause shine the light on what you said, because that is, I think, one of the most often overlooked skills that humans have.
Yeah.
The more curious you are, the more charismatic you are, the more somebody's going to eat out of your hands, the more money you're going to make.
Bottom line, baby. Well said. Well said.
Terry L Fossum, you are a blast, man. I say this to all my guests. Once you're a guest of the lab, you're now a friend of the lab. I've showed you around the house. I've invited you to the living room. I've showed you where the fridge is. I've offered you a drink. Now, when you come back, I expect you just to help yourself to the drink and sit yourself down on the couch. You are welcome back any single time any single day, any single moment. I want to also invite you that I have a morning show now, Monday to Friday, mornings in the lab with myself and Nicole Bernard. If you have something you want to push, talk about, launch, timely, want to get a message out and control some kind of narrative in a quick way, you come on, knock on Uncle Keith's door, and
but not tomorrow morning, because I don't know how the game's going to go today. Okay, I'm just saying.
This is true.
Just saying. I heard you.
This might be a toothpicker tomorrow morning. Speaking of, I'm going to have, so this is a great hook for part 2.
All right.
So it's official, nation. Keith Bilous and Terry L Fossum. We're going to be back in the lab. And we're going to talk about McCallum, Texas.
Ooh, wrong end of an assault rifle in junior high in my own back alley. That'll be a good one.
We're going to leave that there. I should have you back. Joseph Malone. Joseph Malone was a guest of mine last week on the show, 2 weeks in the show. He went from the south side of Chicago, sticking needles in his arms, to waking up one day going, all right, I got 3 paths in life. I'm either going to be dead, I'm going to be in jail, or I need to go get in the Marines. He ends up being a special ops person in the Marines. You know why he goes? He goes because he says, yeah, my buddy went and I couldn't let him go by himself. What kind of human is that?
That's a Marine.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And then I had another fellow on my show, another soldier that identifies with, he says, Keith, I'm a soldier from Arkansas, Mark Boer. We should all come back in the show and have just a wonderful chat about the world, America, McCallum, Texas. And
Bring it on, man. I'll join you anytime. I really appreciate your message that you're sharing with everybody.
Thank you.
It's making a difference in the world. So I'd be ecstatic to be on anytime, my friend.
Awesome. All right. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to politely put you back in the green room for a second. I'm going to say goodbye to Nation, and then chivalry's not dead, man. I'm going to come back and walk you out of the lab. All right.
All right. Sounds amazing. Go get him, everybody. Have a great day.
You bet. Hang tight, Terry L Fossum. All right. We're going to bring some tunes back on. There we go. So I hope you all enjoyed the chat today as much as I did. I know I sometimes it seemed to end my, what is it called? What's the end? It's not a monologue. I guess I got to look that part up. The prologue and the prologue beginning. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go walk Terry out before he gets on another adventure. I don't want to miss his next adventure. I bet you right now he's probably looking at a map. He's got the keys out. He's getting ready to get in the car or the truck or whatever he drives. Maybe he's into a motorcycle now. And he's going to head west. Maybe I'll tell Terry to come up to the lab. Yes, Terry, come up here. You know what would be funny? Oh, man, it would be freaking hilarious if I go to the game tonight and Terry's like, fuck, honey, I'm going to go surprise Keith. And then I get up tomorrow morning and there's old Terry L Fossum just outside the perimeter of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, saying, hey, Bilous. I'm like, yeah? He goes, I'm here. There you have it. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, great evening. I'm going to go and get prepared for the game tonight. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Mornings in the lab with myself, Nicole Bernard. And I got to get jacked up so I don't bring the toothpicks out tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Where's the button? It is right there.